You know, Megan, as we're looking at your shot and looking at the shots before, we want to remind our viewers this started off as a Black Lives Matter protest around noon today at Pan Pacific Park there in the Fairfax district. It was a peaceful protest that eventually turned violent a few hours later. There were skirmishes between police and protesters. We have seen several vehicles lit on fire, and now we have seen crowds really disperse in that area, Megan, and then just really a handful of people who are actively engaging with those officers.
This is where we have this large group here, a lot of folks being rowdy. Now, I'm going to show you two other large groups here. See if I can find them in the camera right over here. This is where Gil Davis was earlier. You can see this large group of individuals. This is Fairfax and 3rd. Now, that's quite a different story. Everybody's just standing there and peacefully protesting. LAPD is in full force over there. But you can see this crowd is orderly, and we're not seeing the chaos that we are seeing with this crowd here along Beverly Boulevard. So as I focus back onto the crowd here, I think that's Pan Pacific Park, if I'm not mistaken, but you can see folks right there down below, and as they scatter more, they start running and scattering as law enforcement escalates the situation. They want them to be able to protest peacefully, but at times these individuals are starting to throw objects at law enforcement, and when they do that, they are deploying those flashbang grenades and the tear gas canisters in order to disperse these individuals here down below.
Yeah, and if that's the LA County Sheriff's Department, would it...
You can just see how word of mouth gets around really quick. They see people with merchandise and everybody just starts running. And you know what? Nordstrom's just may be the first store right now. This is just a chaotic situation where they're going to use this opportunity to vandalize as many stores as possible. There's an LAPD airship, so that airship now is calling down for units. But unfortunately, Nordstrom's is falling victim to all of this behavior here down below.
Yeah, you might be right, because some of those people we saw ran past Nordstrom, and they were going possibly to other stores. I don't know, they ran past. We're seeing more people coming out carrying items. Can't quite tell what they're taking, but grabbing one, two, or a couple of items and heading back out. And Megan, this has just turned into chaos now.
Position here to see, but right now we can clearly see Nordstrom's. Everybody is running into the store right now. Pandemonium down there below as they are grabbing the merchandise, get what they can, and they get out really quick. Fortunately, law enforcement officers, they are aware. Look at that LAPD helicopter right there below us. They are assessing the situation. They're calling for ground units right now. They're looking at the entire area. They're calling for additional units. And you know what? Law enforcement's not too far away. I mean, look here.
And
this is where we have
open.
that peace. Yeah, I mean, look at all these officers here. This is where we have the peaceful protest, and you can see the large crowd that we had earlier has dispersed. The problem is some of those crowd members dispersed into the Grove, and then they took advantage of the situation and made their way into the Nordstrom's where they're looting right now. So that's just the only store that we see. We'll try to see if other stores are being vandalized. But Kathy, I won't be surprised if other stores fall victim to all this chaos here down below. Look at these. I mean, people just running in and out, just like a, free-for-all, unfortunately.
This is the behavior, Megan and Kathy, that's exactly what the mayor was talking about today. This will not be tolerated. It's this kind of behavior that takes away, he was saying, from the message that they were trying to portray in that peaceful protest earlier today. It just completely turns to chaos. We've seen this time and time again. The only difference is that this is happening so much earlier in the day. This isn't the darkness that we've been seeing where this has been happening in downtown LA. We're actually seeing people out in broad daylight robbing,
we're bouncing over there.
taking over the store.
So we have some people kind of hanging out right now, pretty much up to no good. You can see now two stores. Look at the glass, just shattered the glass, getting inside, grabbing all that merchandise, using those trash cans. Look, they go open that trash can, they grab the trash bag in order to put all their loot inside and then disperse the scene. So this is just unfortunate, but this is what we're seeing. A situation, LAPD definitely, no doubt, going to be turning their attention to this here shortly.
This as well from NBC News Investigations and our Andrew Blankstein, and this really underlines and underscores the situation that we are looking at right now in LA. In a rare move, the LAPD has mobilized the entire department, and that means basically that no staff has a day off. Each will be put on a double shift. and that is to get as many police on the street as possible. And right now, they are responding only to priority calls. Officers right now will be kept on a 12-hour shift. That from the LAPD to our NBC News investigative unit. As you look right now, it is what is going on at the Grove. This had been planned. We had been hearing now for several hours, even while the downtown LA protests were going on in the middle of the night, that the targets were going to be the west side of Los Angeles. Specifically, it was going to be the Grove, where you are looking at right now. Specifically, it was going to be Rodeo Drive and the city of Beverly Hills, another area that has been targeted. Viewers told us, and the city has let us know, that they were aware of this, that some of the shops that had begun, everyone, to take down their boarded up buildings due to COVID-19 had begun to take those down, all the wood, now have had to put them back up because those businesses are no longer safe from looters. We have information into NBC News that a number of stores on Rodeo Drive, arguably the most expensive retail shopping district in the entire world, has been tagged. Businesses there have been looted, and right now you go to the Grove, of Los Angeles, a destination for so many residents as well as so many tourists, that has been shuttered for the last few weeks due to COVID-19. And now you see that people then have targeted the Grove. As you look right now, so many running away from the LAPD that is out in force. So we have agencies now trying to protect several different cities.
Colleen, right now we are at the Grove. We are on 3rd Street and the Grove Drive. You can see right there on top of your screen, we actually have the name of the street. Now, this crowd is being dispersed in an easterly direction. Let me show you the distance from the crowd and law enforcement officers. They are slowly pushing this crowd away from the Grove. They're starting to pick up their speed right now. Officers here off the side running, making sure no individuals get back into this area. This is the Nordstrom's that was being looted just moments ago. You can just see, look at the destruction. I mean, let me just show you everything here. Law enforcement, and let me show you this. You see on the ground all that chalk residue? All of that is from tear gas canisters being deployed. Look at the amount. I mean, this entire street is just littered with that. And then you'll get a few individuals. When you come to a peaceful protest and you have a gas mask and you bring cones, these are items that you know you're going to need in the event if they start deploying this tear gas. So the intention, that's what it is. It's about the intent. These individuals knew what they were doing. Look at this trash bin. Now this trash bin's on fire. So we got a couple of trash bins on fire. It's the few individuals that are creating this chaotic situation, which earlier was a peaceful protest.
Lives that continue to stand up for themselves and continue to say, we are not having it, we're not having it anymore. I am encouraged by the allies that say we want to stand with, you know, our African-American, black folks. We want to stand with you. I'm encouraged by our allies. I'm encouraged by the young people that are just now seeing some of this stuff for the very first time, but they want to get engaged. I'm encouraged by our leaders who are supporting it. So I'm encouraged in that way. I'm not in, you know, I'm encouraged by that. I'm not encouraged, you know, with people walking out with shoes. I don't know, that doesn't encourage me, but I am encouraged by those who saw that and felt that and stood up and said, no, no, it's not okay. And it's not okay. Yeah.
And now, as we approach 8 o'clock, what would you like to see for these people to peacefully go home? I'm sure.
I get home safe so you can live in power for another day, right? That's my hope, is that people get home safe to live to see another day. To see another day to live, to see another day to change the hand of justice. And so that is the order that's been given, that there's an 8 o'clock curfew, and I don't want to see nobody get hurt. I don't want to see nobody get arrested. So I don't, as a mother, as a woman, as a black woman, no, I don't want to see that for nobody, not at all. And I want to encourage people to please get home safe so you can see another day of fighting for power, so you can see another day of standing up for justice, so you can see another day to fight for systemic change.
All right, Reverend Smith-Pollard, we certainly thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I hope your message resonates with some of the people, although, you know, they're out there right now. Perhaps they will hear it later on. You mentioned...
Perhaps. And the other side is that there are other people listening and who can encourage. So we're not discouraged by the ones that are just out there that may not be listening at this moment to the news, because they have family and friends who can encourage them to maybe take a step back.
You're absolutely right.
Our hope is not lost. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate you being here with us. Thank you so much. We should tell you right now, it's 8 o'clock. You are watching a special edition of the NBC4 News. And you may have received an alert on your phone. A citywide curfew for Los Angeles has just gone into effect. So if you leave your home for any non-emergency reason, you could be subject to arrest. The cities of West Hollywood and Beverly Hills also announcing similar curfews that, Colleen, also went into effect at 8 o'clock.
You know, Kathy, we've been talking about resources this afternoon, the LAPD, the Sheriff's Department. We do know that LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva has just called for a limited activation of the National Guard. They've been asked to be placed on standby here. And again, we've been watching the looting here. This is Flight Club LA. It's a high-end shoe store, and I suspect we've been watching this for 15, 20 minutes. There can't be any inventory back inside there.
No, we see some people going in and out there. They're gathered there at this location. We've seen storefronts across LA being vandalized and looters breaking into Nordstrom, going out with shoes and other items at the Grove, as well as other stores on Fairfax Avenue. We've been watching it all with our colleague, NBC4's Robert Kovacic. You've been talking with the mayors of several cities and other leaders about this curfew going into effect. Right now, it lasts until 5:30 in the morning. And Santa Monica also now implementing the same kind of a curfew. They're really hoping to stop this in one night. But Robert, what are you hearing? We understand the mayor of LA says they'll extend it if they have to.
The mayor has more to say than that, Kathy. When we spoke with Mayor Garcetti an hour ago, he had to get off the phone to get on the phone with Governor Newsom. And when he spoke with Governor Newsom, we can now confirm Mayor Garcetti has asked for the National Guard to be deployed, saying that this is no longer a protest. Now, if we could just go back real quick to that sneaker store, that flight shop, anyone that has been in this area, you will always see a long line of people outside of this flight club, and that is because it is a consignment shop for very rare sneakers. I've been texting back and forth with our photographer, Kenny Holmes. He knows this store very well. This is a place where, no joke, the lines just go down the block and then some for people waiting to get these very rare sneakers, and now they have the opportunity to get whatever they want at their will as they break into Flight Club here. So as we look at the situation, the curfew is now in effect that you heard for the first time hours ago. It is a curfew that is in effect for the entire city of Los Angeles. And it spreads. It heads west into West Hollywood. It heads west into Beverly Hills. The mayor of Beverly Hills telling NBC4 that they have asked for additional resources, and they are coming from the Inland Empire. Those resources would be coming to assist the Beverly Hills Police Department, not knowing what the night ahead is going to look like.